In a quiet valley, there was a small village. Everyone loved a man named Jack. Jack was the yes man. If a neighbor's roof broke, Jack fixed it. If someone was hungry, Jack gave them his own plate of food. He was a good man, but he was exhausted. His own house was falling apart because he spent all his time fixing everyone else's. Then the great dry came. For 6 months, not a single drop of rain fell. The sun was like a fire in the sky. The creek dried up, the corn turned brown, and the animals died. Because the village was far away in the mountains, no trucks could bring food. The people were panicked. Most of them had spent their money on fancy clothes and big parties when times were good. They had nothing saved. The village pantry was empty. But everyone remembered Jack. Jack was different. While others were partying, Jack had been working. He had dug a deep well with his own hands. He had hidden away a few bags of grain in a stone room under his barn. It was just enough to keep his wife and 2 children alive. One evening, a man named Miller came to Jack's gate. Miller was strong, but he was lazy. He had sold his own seeds months ago to buy a fast horse. Now he was hungry. Behind Miller stood half the village. "Jack," Miller shouted, "we are starving. We know you have grain. Give it to us. It's the right thing to do." The villagers watched. They waited for Jack to be the good man and give everything away. But Jack looked at his children. They were thin and tired. Then he looked at Miller, who had wasted his own food. He took a deep breath and said no. The village was dead silent. Miller's face turned red. "You monster!" he screamed. "You're going to let us starve? We thought you were our friend." That night, the village turned against Jack. They called him greedy. They threw rocks at his windows. They told their children, "Don't be like Jack. He only cares about himself." Jack became a ghost in his own town. He sat in the dark, listening to his neighbors curse his name. It hurt, but he did not open the door. Jack used his secret well to water a tiny garden behind his barn. He worked at night so no one would see. He stayed awake to guard his grain. He ate almost nothing so his children could have a full bowl. 3 months later, the clouds finally broke. The rain came down hard. The drought was over, but the village was in trouble. They had eaten all their seeds to stay alive. They had nothing to plant. They were ready to give up and leave their homes forever. That morning, Jack opened his barn doors. He didn't come out with a bowl of soup. He came out with heavy sacks of seeds. He had grown enough to replant every farm in the valley. He stood in the middle of the village and said, "I have the seeds. I will give them to you, but I will not plant them for you. From now on, you must work your own land. I am your neighbor, not your servant. If you don't work, you don't eat." Miller stepped forward. He looked ashamed. "We hated you, Jack. We called you a villain because you wouldn't give us a free meal." Jack looked at him and said, "If I had given you that grain 3 months ago, we would have eaten for a week and died a month later. By saying no when you were hungry, I saved your lives for the future. Sometimes the best way to help someone is to stop carrying them." The villagers finally understood. Jack hadn't lost his heart. He had found his strength. He stopped being a crutch for the village, and for the first time, the village learned how to stand on its own 2 feet.